mocha, whatever. But
Yeah.
with the base
I want the same thing, but with peppermint mocha.
Oh, there's our menu. No ATM, credit card. Okay. Hi. Good. How are you? Let me see here.
The 16 ounces, they're small.
So 524 ounce. I got one here too, by the way.
Oh,
We're
just
not
so
gonna
you
go on
know.
a YouTube channel
Just so
if you're
you
okay
know.
with that.
You're okay.
We have a YouTube channel if you're okay with being on it sometime.
Oh, what? Make me look pretty. Don't put me on ugly.
Oh my god.
Last time we saw, there's all these little coffee kiosks, and there's quite a few. I think there's 3 of them on here. There's one here that we just went to, which is where we got this. We'll tell you about that in a minute. We went to, or there's one over here in Anacortes, and they're basically this little tiny little coffee shack, and it's called Ladybug Bikini Shop or something like that.
Ladybug coffee or something.
Ladybug Coffee. I took some pictures. You've already seen them as you're watching this video, so you can see what it looks like. But they're all over town. We were curious last time we were here, but we didn't go. Well, we wanted some coffee. We decided, well, what the heck, let's try it. So we went. It's a little drive-through coffee shop. Kind of shocking, honestly.
It's a little bit disturbing. A little bit. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
the girl was super nice, but very scantily clad. So much so that I'm not even going to show you on the video. I don't think we're undecided as to what we're going to show. By the time this thing gets, this video gets edited and made, we'll have made a decision by then. So we might show you some, but we're not going to show you all. You'll have to experience it for yourself. So if you're really curious, coffee's really good. If you're curious and you want to experience it, stop by the Ladybug Expresso Bikini Shop or whatever it's called. They do have a website. It's actually on the bottom of the picture that I'll post. You want to check it out. I'm sure they have all their locations. But it's interesting for sure. She was super nice, super bubbly. She was not shy at all. She appears to be enjoying her job.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's all we can say, unless you have something else to add.
Well, clearly on the menu it says, like, no walk-ups after dark, no shows, don't ask,
No
blah, blah,
solicitation.
blah. We got a show.
We didn't even ask for it.
And we didn't ask. So
anyway,
there you go.
Buyer beware.
Buyer beware.
Trip to Washington. We got the dogs packed, as you can probably see them. So we got about good 16 and a half, 17 hours ahead of us. It is 2:39 in the morning, and we are on our way.
Wish us luck.
Okay, so we are currently in Eugene, Oregon. We stopped to grab some breakfast at the Pancake House, the original Pancake House. It's pretty good. I didn't get any video of that. But we stopped at Voodoo Doughnuts. We wanted to go to Portland, Oregon, but we went by there, which is the original Voodoo Doughnuts. But they were closed at the time we drove through. So we came to Eugene, Oregon, which has another Voodoo Doughnuts. Pretty cool store. We ordered the Voodoo Dozen, which basically they pick out what you're gonna get. Figured if we're gonna go to Voodoo Doughnuts, might as well get what their specialties are. So Heidi was taking the dogs for a quick walk while I picked up the donuts. So I got to go inside. I got a cool video, as you'll see, of the inside. I picked up the donuts, came back to the truck. Heidi met me at the truck. She had the dogs. We put the dogs back in the truck, and we walked over to Voodoo Doughnuts real quick so that Heidi can take a look inside. I thought I had the donuts secure, and I was curious. We don't really know these dogs yet. We don't know what they're capable of. So Donnie in the back, she's definitely a food seeker. When you're eating, she's all up in your face, kind of like Charlie is. Not so much with Leo. So we actually had a quick little conversation. You think the donuts are gonna be okay? Yeah, they'll be fine. So we were gone for 5 minutes, and we came back. The box was open, and the two donuts that I specifically wanted, one was gonna be for Alex, and I wanted one was the maple bacon.
This is going back north, so I got the food.
Okay, so one or two of the dogs, they were both smacking their lips when we got back. One of the maple donuts was half eaten, and the bacon was gone, and the other maple donut was still intact except for the bacon. The bacon was gone. So anyway, it's kind of a bummer. I wasn't gonna go back just for that. They know they did wrong, but anyway, that's what just happened to us.
Everything I had ever been.
Okay, we're at the rest stop. The dogs got in trouble for eating our donuts. I'm gonna pretend that I'm gonna leave the truck. I obviously got the camera on, and I want to see if they're gonna try again after getting in trouble. I'm gonna try to hide from them, but I'm gonna be peeking in on them. I think they'll be attracted by the donuts and not see that I'm probably watching them from the back window. We'll see what happens. Don't get the donuts.
What are you doing? Huh? What are you doing? Let me see. What are you doing?
State Senate, and a blind poet scribbling notes, and LBJ and Huck Finn, and Abby Hoffman, and all the dead soldiers back from the grave, and the many thousands who were later to die.
In the back.
Villagers with terrible burns, little kids without arms or legs.
Good job.
Yes, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff were there, and a couple of popes, and a first lieutenant named Jimmy Cross, and the last surviving veteron of the American Civil War, and Jane Fonda dressed up as
Where were you?
Cinderella.
I was behind.
Oh, I didn't even see you, Elmo. Like, oh, I guess
So the dogs passed the test, sort of. So Leo came into the front seat. He saw me in the mirror here. So Donnie saw me. She kept her eyes on me the whole time. At one point, Leo did come down and sniff the box, and then I started to come around, and she let, and then he got away.
I saw faces from my distant past.
Anyway. GoPro died, so I gotta use the phone. All right. Hey, bud.
Hey, Dad. Come on.
Hold on, girl. Hold on. Come here. Hey, Donnie, come here. Hold on. Okay, this is the first time they're meeting. They just met the cat. It should go okay. Charlie likes dogs. And actually, Charlie and Leo have met before.
Get all the way in. Keep the door closed.
Hey, be nice. Be nice, Charlie. Be nice. Hey. No. Right. Okay. Well, that didn't go as good as I thought it was going to go. But looks like it's going okay now. They'll be fine. You just got to get used to each other. Oh.
Lay down. Charlie, lay down. He's about to show. I don't want to lay by him. What are you doing? Something on your face?
So I have to vent a little bit. So we have some next door neighbors. We've never met them before. A couple ladies, I believe it's an older woman and her daughter. I don't think I've ever even seen them. We've seen them driving out, but never really got a good look at them. But they have a few, I think they have 2 or 3 dogs. I believe it's a total of 3 dogs. So yesterday we brought the dogs home, and as soon as they let their dogs out in their yard, they started barking, and then Leo went over there and started barking. Charlie, for the most part, ignores it, has ignored it for a long time. They'll start barking at her as soon as they know that she's in the yard, but she just kind of goes on her way, and then eventually the dogs just kind of go on their way. But this time both dogs went at it from both sides of the fence. And Heidi overheard her across the fence. The lady had no idea that Heidi was just on the other side of the fence, and she heard her on the phone with what we think was either animal control or the police. And she was basically saying how she was afraid that Leo, who's a tiny dog, way smaller than their dog, they got a German Shepherd in the lab, and I can't remember what the third dog is, was going to break through the fence and attack their dogs, which is not going to happen, obviously. But she was saying stuff like, I got them on video, and I want to document it because this is not the first time, and she's been made aware by other neighbors that there's been several complaints about our dogs, which is absolutely not true. We get along with all our neighbors across the street, especially, and to the left of us here. But Charlie does not bark. I mean, the only time she barks is if she's inside the house and she wants us to throw the ball or something. And as a puppy, she barked a lot, but that was a couple of years ago. Her dogs, on the other hand, I hate to be the one with all her dogs, but it's true. I mean, that lady, again, I don't know who it is, all hours of the night, and all day long, honestly, her dogs are running around. She loves her dogs, no doubt about that. She plays with them all day long, but she's always calling them, always calling them as if they're nowhere in sight, and she's calling for them to come back. It's like, is their yard that big where they're hiding all the time? And literally all day long, she's calling for her dogs as if she has no idea where they're at. And she has this very annoying, high-pitched call that she does for the dogs. So it goes on all day. It goes on all night. We'll be in bed 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, sometimes midnight. And she's outside with the exact same loud voice calling her dogs. Not only that, her car alarm goes off almost every night after hours, sometimes through the day. So it's just kind of funny. I'm venting. There's nothing I'm going to do about it. I'm not going to talk to her. I don't think there's any talking to her. We'll see what happens. But this was kind of silly. She didn't talk to us. but Heidi overheard her on the phone. Cops never showed up. I'm sure they never will. That's the last thing we are worried about, honestly. We're not worried about the police showing up. In fact, if they did, it'd almost be something good, because we can fully explain what's going on. Anyway, just venting. It's just kind of silly. I don't think I've never lived in a place where we had bad neighbors. I've had a lot of friends and family who have absolutely horror stories about neighbors. I'm sure some of you have experienced that as well. But I never have. And again, this could be the end of it. It could be the beginning of it, because we have 2 brand new dogs. That changes the dynamics of the household, of course. We realize that. There's an adjustment period, but, you know, hopefully we don't have any kind of nightmare stories in our future. Anyway, that's it. Just wanted to vent. Thanks for listening. Time to start my day.